my channel, and today I have 3 super cute, super cozy home decor DIYs that I think you're gonna love. All of them make me beyond happy. They are perfect for the winter, perfect for the cold, perfect for cheering you up if you get winter blues, okay? As of last year, I decided that I was not gonna be unhappy in the winter. I was gonna be positive about it, and all of these DIYs are really contributing to that. They make it easy to cozy up, to be nice and warm and comfortable. So snuggle on up, grab yourself a cup of hot cocoa, and let's get going with the first DIY. Okay, so for the first DIY app, we have a super soft, super cozy, and cuddly blanket. And the best part about this is you're making it completely from scratch, but it's super, super easy to make. And it honestly just feels a little bit like magic as you're making it and seeing this blanket come to life. It's gonna be the perfect textured throw blanket for your couch, for your bed, and of course to actually use and snuggle up with. So let's jump into it. This faux wool yarn is called Chunky Luxe, and I got it from Michaels. I got 9 skeins of yarn for my blanket, but you could probably get away with just using 6 if you want a basic throw blanket. So taking my first skein of yarn, I'm just unwinding it. If you're going to make a large knot at the end of the yarn and loop it on through, and then once you've got your knot here that's about the size of 2 of your fingers, you're going to just create a new little loop on the right and thread that on through the original loop. Now you've created a new loop, and you're going to repeat the exact same thing with the yarn, creating a second loop, looping it through the first loop, and so on. Now I repeated that about 30 times over, and the end result was a long braided chain. Now this part looks a little bit more complicated, but don't worry, it's actually quite simple. To create the second row of your blanket, your last loop on the right is going to become your first loop of the second row. Then you're going to move the yarn over to the left side and start looping the yarn into the top loops, as you can see here. You're just going to keep on doing that across the whole way, and then once you get to the other side, you're going to do the same thing, so the last loop is going to become the first loop of the next row, and so on and so on. Once you run out of your first thing of yarn, you're going to want to add on a new section or a new skein. And to do that, you're going to double knot it to the previous end and just keep on going with making your blanket following the exact same technique. Okay, so quick check-in here. I am on my last thing of yarn. Woohoo! I don't think I needed to make this blanket as wide as I did. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in my last skein of yarn, and then we'll give you a look. I'm just looping the yarn through each of the little rows here, just like that. And now once you've got the size of the blanket that you want, here is how we're going to finish the last row. Basically, all you're gonna do is bring the first 2 loops together and then thread on through that yarn to create a new loop, and bring the yarn through to create a new loop, and so on, and just continue doing that. And as you can see, it is creating that nice chain stitch. And this chain stitch is actually kind of created all over the blanket and on the sides kind of automatically as you're going along with the whole method. Now to finish off the piece, you're going to tuck in the very end of the yarn down the side of the blanket, and then you're going to snip off any of the excess pieces of yarn that are hanging off from where you did double knots. Oh my gosh, you guys, I absolutely love how this blanket turned out. It's so big and chunky and warm and soft and just lovely. I also like aesthetically that it is super textured and it looks really nice on a bed or on a couch. Now I will just say that this type of yarn is actually a faux wool, and it is a little bit linty. Now I have heard of some people doing this thing called felting the yarn in advance, which I did not do, but I did find that it is a bit linty, and that leads this blanket leaning a little bit more towards the decor side, as opposed to it being a blanket that you can use every single day. Now the solve for that is actually to use chenille yarn, which comes really, really thick and big, and in hindsight I would have used that instead. I actually did want to use that instead of this product, but I couldn't find it anywhere downtown, and it was out of stock online at the time, but it is back in stock, so I would just recommend going that route instead. I will link both the yarn that I actually used as well as the yarn that I would have preferred to use down below. They're the same price. You can get both of them them at Michael's. In fact, the kind that I wish I could use, you can also get at Walmart in the US for a really affordable price. So highly recommend that. But all in all, I really do love this blanket and it is definitely a win. And you bet I had to look up how you actually pronounce chenille. Exhibit A.
Chenille.
Okay, so the next DIY app is something that is perfect for bath lovers because not only is it a stunning piece of decor, but also, again, it is something that you could use on a regular basis. It's a great way to relax and unwind, and it's perfect for the winter months, although you could totally use it all year round, of course. Now, I will just say that this project was inspired by one of my lovely subscribers who I had a conversation with on Instagram. Actually, we've had many conversations back and forth, but she sent me this type of product that she was going to buy, and I thought it looked so pretty and so stunning, and I thought, could I make a version of it that is less intricate but easy for anyone to be able to make for themselves? And so it totally just inspired me for this project, and I am super happy with how it turned out. By the way, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you can head on over to DIY Dalia with an underscore at the end. I have conversations with tons of my subscribers. I love to get ideas from them. I love to just chat, give my opinion on things if you need it or if you want it. But yeah, let's get into the second DIY app. So I started off with a piece of 1x6" pine wood that I had left over for making shelves in my apartment. We're going to cut this down to be 1/2 inch longer than the width of my bathtub. I used my electric miter saw. Woohoo, so proud of myself for getting used to using electric tools. But if you don't have an electric miter saw, you can definitely just get it cut to size at Home Depot, which is typically what I would do. When you've got your wood cut to size, just go over it with some sandpaper so that it's nice and smooth and easy to work with. Next up, we're going to add 2 small pieces of wood on the bottom side of the shower caddy to keep it in place while it's on your bathtub. Now, I used half round trim, but you can easily use 1x2" pieces of wood instead. Now, to attach the little pieces of wood, I'm just using some Gorilla Glue, which is water resistant, and so I'm just adding a generous amount of that glue and placing it down a couple inches away from the edge of the shower caddy. To secure it in place, I'm just using some basic wood clamps, and then I am wiping away any of the excess glue that has seeped out. Once that's dried, you can now move on to finishing your shower caddy, and I'm going to be using tung oil for the very first time, and it's going to strengthen the wood so that it has a nice finish, and also so that it can withstand coming into contact with water. I really like the thought of using tung oil because it's actually a natural product, but you can totally go ahead and use any other type of wood finish that you have on hand, like a polyurethane. And finally, you can put this baby into the bathtub and get on to relaxing. So let me know what you think of the second DIY. I love it so much. I just think it's so simple, but yet so pretty. I think it's perfect because you can actually use it while you're taking a bath, obviously, but while you're not taking a bath, it can be a nice little piece of decor, especially in something like a guest bathroom, maybe where you're not using it all the time. You can have it styled with pretty candles and little plants and stuff like that, which I think really just contributes to a nice ambiance and really nice stylish decor. Okay, so the next DIY app is how to make a super textured pillow cushion. Emphasis here on textured. Why, you might ask? Textured pillows are usually very expensive. They're like $30 to $40, and even if you wanted to make your own, it's actually really hard to come by the type of fabric that you would need to make it so textured, because I've gone to several fabric stores, big box fabric stores, boutique fabric stores, and typically the most textured thick fabric you could get is either upholstery fabric or it's curtain fabric, and neither of which really offer that thick textured look that I love and that high-end pillows offer. So I have found a way to make a very textured pillow cover out of none other than 2 very inexpensive IKEA rugs. So let's get into making our dream textured pillow cover. This fabric was from 2 IKEA rugs that were only $3.99 each. I went ahead and grabbed one of my existing pillow covers to cut out the shape from the first rug. Now this is actually pretty thick, and so it was a little bit of a challenge to cut with basic scissors, but after a little bit of time, you will get it cut out and cut to size. Now when you're going to cut the second rug, make sure that you make it a little bit wider than the first rug. I used the full width of the rug for this one instead of using the pillow cover to determine the right size. Next up, you're going to cut the second rug in half right down the middle. Now place those two pieces of the rug right on top of that first cutout, and these pieces should overlap to create what looks like an envelope. Make sure to place the cut sides on the outside of the pillow so that the finished uncut edges of the rug are on the inside. Next, you're going to attach all of these pieces together using some fabric pins, and you can get on to stitching. Now I'm going to be using this rust thread color. Yes, I know it doesn't match, but don't worry. For you folks at home, make sure that you're using a matching thread. Now go ahead and just do a straight stitch all the way around the edge, making sure to leave 1/2 inch from the edge of the pillow. This next step is optional, but I just went ahead and sewed down the center seam on the top and bottom of the back of the pillow, just about 4 inches down, and this will basically create a smaller envelope opening. So we're gonna turn this inside out and we'll see what we got. I guess right side out. So here I am just flipping it right side out, and it's a little bit of a struggle, but once you get it all flipped around, it is looking really good. You can already see how it's formed this perfect pillow shape. Now, the one thing that I noticed is that the corners were a little bit too rounded for my liking, so I just flipped it back inside out and cut off the corner edges. Now you're just going to go ahead and flip it completely inside out and do a zigzag stitch the whole way around, and voila, you guys, a beautiful textured pillow that, yes, I probably should have steamed before doing this B-roll, but I did not. In a future video, I am going to be upgrading this pillow cover by dyeing it in a really nice, unique pattern using a very unique method that I've just learned about that I haven't seen anyone else do. So stay tuned if you want to see the next part of this textured DIY pillow. Okay, so moment of truth, you guys. I want to know which of the 3 projects was your favorite. Let me know in a comment down below and I will tell you my ranking as usual right now. I would have to say that my #1 favorite project is the shower caddy, because the shower caddy is so simple to make. It is literally so easy. Anyone can do it. All you need is a couple pieces of wood, some wood glue, and then whatever you want to use to seal it off. And in this case, I was actually able to use tung oil, which is a natural product, and I absolutely love that I was able to do that. My second favorite project is the blanket. I love how it turned out so much. I think it's so textured and such pretty decor. I love how soft it is, and I have only ranked it second because of the lint factor. Now, if I had made it with the other type of yarn, I think that would probably be my #1 favorite. I also really like that I could make it in one night, and it felt like I was literally creating magic, making something out of nothing, aka that is how like knitting and crocheting goes, but since I don't do any of that, that is probably why it's so like mind blown for me. And then last but not least is the pillow, which I absolutely love so much as well. I love how textured it is, I love how simple it was to make, and I also just love that envelope kind of method that I used. I also use that same method for my pillows that were in my bedroom makeover video, and I've never seen anyone else do this envelope method, but I'm not sure why, because it is so simple. It makes it so that you don't have to put in zippers or buttons or keep it actually fully sewn closed so that you can wash it. But yeah, I hope you like this video, and I just want to give you a big thanks for watching till now and watching my videos in general and liking me in general, subscribing, all that fun stuff. It honestly means the world to me because you're making my dreams come true, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So thank you so much. I love you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.